Elise Brooks had a laugh that could fill an entire floor. 27 years old, deep brown skin that glowed even under the harsh, fluorescent lights of the Apex Financial Group offices, and a smile so genuine it made strangers smile back without knowing why. Her hair was pulled back in a sleek, low bun today. Wash day wasn't until Sunday, and her edges were laid so perfectly. Her best friend Tasha had taken a picture that morning with the caption, "Edges on fleek." She worked on the 15th floor of the Glass Tower in Buckhead, right in the heart of Atlanta's business district. Marketing coordinator, good salary, better benefits. The kind of job her mama called a blessing every Sunday after church. "Morning, Janet." Elise sang out as she passed the reception desk, balancing her usual Starbucks order. A grande caramel macchiato with extra caramel because life was too short for medium sweetness, and her laptop bag. Janet, 50-something with grey streaks she refused to dye, grinned. "Girl, it's Monday morning. How are you this chipper?" "It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the coffee is hot, and nobody's died yet. That's a win in my book." Janet laughed, shaking her head. "Use something else." The Apex Financial offices smelled like expensive cologne, printer toner, and ambition. Elise had been working here for 8 months. She loved her co-workers, most of them anyway. The energy could get intense during quarter end, but she'd learned how to navigate the pressure. Her desk was in the open plan area, 3rd row from the windows. She decorated it with a small succulent named Gerald, a framed photo of her and Tasha at Piedmont Park, and a coffee mug that said, "I'm silently correcting your grammar." She set her things down and immediately noticed the tension in the air. Everyone was hunched over their computers, typing furiously. No one was talking. The usual morning chatter, who watched what on Netflix, weekend plans, complaints about the MARTA delays, was completely absent. "What's going on?" Elise whispered to Taylor, the analyst who sat next to her. Taylor didn't look up. "Quarterly audit. Crane's in a mood. Mitchell already got called into his office twice. Just keep your head down today." Elise's stomach dropped slightly. Declan Crane, the CEO. 40 years old, billionaire and owner of a face that looked like it had forgotten how to smile sometime around 2015. He was tall, maybe 6'3", with dark blonde hair that was always perfectly styled, sharp jawline, and eyes so blue they looked almost colorless in certain lights. He wore suits that probably cost more than her monthly rent. Tom Ford, maybe. Definitely not off the rack. Elise had been working at Apex for 8 months. In those 8 months, Declan Crane had looked directly at her maybe 3 times. Each time lasted approximately 2 seconds. He never smiled, never made small talk, never joined the team for happy hour at the spots on the Beltline. He arrived early, left late, and in between, he closed deals worth millions while everyone else scrambled to keep up. To him, Elise was just another employee, efficient, punctual, forgettable, and honestly, she was fine with that. Men like Declan Crane didn't notice women like her. Not because she wasn't worth noticing. Elise knew her worth, thank you very much, but because he didn't seem to notice anyone. He moved through the office like a shark through water, fast, focused, and completely uninterested in the smaller fish. "Right. Head down. Got it." Elise logged into her computer and opened her email. 47 new messages since Friday. She sighed and reached for her coffee. The morning crawled by in tense silence. By 11 a.m., 2 people had been called into Declan's office. One came out looking pale. The other looked like she'd been holding her breath for 10 minutes. Elise worked through lunch, eating the leftover jollof rice her mama had packed for her while reviewing a presentation deck for the marketing team. The rice was cold. She didn't care. It still tasted like home, perfectly seasoned. Unlike the sad desk salads, half her co-workers ate while pretending kale was satisfying. At 2 p.m., she couldn't take it anymore. The energy in the office was suffocating. People were stressed, snapping at each other, forgetting to breathe. This wasn't sustainable. Someone was going to crack. Elise made a decision. She grabbed her purse, took the elevator down to the lobby, and walked 3 blocks to the Sublime Doughnuts on Spring Street. 20 minutes later, she returned with 24 assorted donuts and a mission. She set the boxes on the communal table in the break room and sent a quick Slack message to the team channel. Sugar therapy in the break room, doctor's orders. Within 5 minutes, people started trickling in. "Elise, you're a lifesaver." "Girl, I was about to lose my mind. Is that a maple bacon donut?" I love you, she grinned, watching the tension ease as people bit into sugar and carbs and remembered they were human beings, not just productivity machines. Then she heard it. Footsteps, expensive shoes on tile. The break room went silent. Declan Crane stood in the doorway. He was in his usual uniform, charcoal grey suit, white shirt, no tie today. His sleeves were rolled up to his forearms, which was about as casual as he ever got. His expression was unreadable. Cold blue eyes swept across the room, landing briefly on the donut boxes, then on Elise. She froze, a chocolate-glazed donut halfway to her mouth. "Mr. Crane," someone stammered. "We were just taking a break," Declan said flatly. His voice was deep, controlled, with the kind of authority that made people stand up straighter without realizing it. "Good. You've been working hard." Everyone blinked. Did he just give permission? His gaze flicked back to Elise. For a moment, just a moment, something shifted in his expression. Not a smile, not even close, but maybe a softening, a barely perceptible acknowledgement that she existed. Then he turned and walked away. The room exhaled collectively. "What just happened?" Taylor whispered. Elise stared at the doorway where Declan had been standing. She had no idea, but something felt different. Back in his corner office on the 20th floor, Declan stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Buckhead, his hands in his pockets. He could still see her in his mind. The woman with the bright smile and the chocolate donut. Elise Brooks, marketing coordinator, 27 years old, employee ID 4892. He'd seen her name on reports, seen her in the hallways, seen her at her desk, always typing away with that small succulent next to her coffee mug. But today was the first time he'd actually seen her. The office had been a pressure cooker all morning. He knew that. He'd felt the tension crackling through the air during his walkthroughs. People were on edge, making mistakes, second-guessing themselves. He'd been about to send out a memo telling everyone to take the rest of the day to regroup. And then he'd walked past the break room and heard laughter. Real laughter. Not the nervous kind people did around him. He'd looked inside and seen her, Elise, handing out donuts like she was hosting a party instead of surviving a corporate audit. She was wearing a burgundy blouse and black slacks, her hair pulled back neatly, and when she smiled at one of the analysts, her whole face lit up. The tension in the room had dissolved, just like that. One woman with a box of donuts had done what he couldn't do with all his authority and money. She'd reminded them they were human. Declan turned away from the window and sat at his desk. He opened his laptop, pulled up the employee directory, and found her profile. Elise Brooks, marketing coordinator, BA in communications from Georgia State, started 8 months ago. Performance reviews, excellent across the board. Notes from her manager. Brings positive energy to the team, strong collaborator, creative thinker. He stared at her photo. She was smiling in it. Of course she was. Declan closed the laptop and rubbed his face. He'd built an empire by staying detached, keeping distance, not letting emotions cloud his judgment. And it had worked. He was successful, powerful, wealthy beyond measure. He was also completely alone. For the first time in years, that bothered him. He pushed the thought away and went back to work. But an hour later, when he walked past her desk on his way to a meeting, he slowed down. Just for a second. She was on the phone, nodding along to whatever the person on the other end was saying, twirling a pen between her fingers. She laughed at something, a bright, genuine sound, and Declan felt something crack inside his chest. He kept walking, but he couldn't stop thinking about that laugh. 3 days after the donut incident, Declan Crane did something he hadn't done in 5 years. He arrived at the office at 8:30 instead of 7, not because he was late, he was never late, but because he'd spent an extra hour at the gym that morning, trying to clear his head, and it hadn't worked. The treadmill, the weights, the punishing routine he'd maintained since his divorce, none of it helped. He couldn't stop thinking about her. Elise Brooks, the woman who brought donuts during an audit like it was the most natural thing in the world. He told himself it was nothing. Professional appreciation for an employee who boosted morale, that's all. Except he'd looked her up on LinkedIn at 11 p.m. last night. Then again at 2 a.m. He needed to get a grip. The elevator doors opened on the 15th floor, and he stepped out, briefcase in hand. He had a meeting with the acquisitions team in 20 minutes, plenty of time to grab coffee from his office and review the... He heard it before he saw her. That laugh. Bright, unfiltered, completely genuine. Elise was standing by the communal coffee station, talking to Taylor and another analyst named Jordan. She was wearing a forest green dress today, fitted at the waist, hitting just below her knees. Professional, but vibrant. Her hair was different, pulled into a high puff, and he could see small gold hoops in her ears catching the light. "I'm telling you," she was saying, "you cannot bring potato salad with raisins to a cookout. That's how you get uninvited from everything." Taylor laughed. "What's wrong with raisins? What's right with raisins in potato salad? That's the real question." Elise shook her head, grinning. "My mama would take one look at that and ask you to leave." Harsh. Necessary. Declan stood there, frozen in the hallway, listening to a conversation about potato salad, like it was the most fascinating thing he'd heard all week. Which, disturbingly, it was. Elise turned to refill her coffee mug, the one that said, "I'm silently correcting your grammar," and her eyes met his. She froze mid-pour. "Mr. Crane." Her voice went up half an octave. Professional, careful. Taylor and Jordan immediately found reasons to return to their desks. "Good morning," Declan said. "Good morning." She set the coffee pot down, her hand steady despite the slight widening of her eyes. "Can I help you with something?" "Yes," he thought. "You can explain why I haven't been able to focus on anything for 3 days." "No," he said instead, "just passing through." "Oh, okay." She smiled, smaller than usual, more polite than genuine, the kind of smile employees gave bosses. "Have a good day, Mr. Crane." He nodded and walked away, made it exactly 6 steps before he stopped, turned around. She was adding cream to her coffee, humming something under her breath. "Elise." She looked up, startled. "Yes?" "The doughnuts. Last Monday." He paused, suddenly aware that he had no idea what he was doing. That was thoughtful. The team appreciated it. Her smile shifted, became real again. "Oh, thank you, everyone was stressed, you know? Sugar helps." "It does." Silence stretched between them. "Say something normal," he told himself. "Something that doesn't make you sound like an alien learning human interaction." "How do you take your coffee?" The words came out before he could stop them. Elise blinked. "I'm sorry?" "Your coffee. How do you take it?" She glanced down at her mug like it might have the answer. Cream and 2 sugars. Sometimes caramel if I'm feeling fancy." "Sweet." "Yeah, I have a sweet tooth." She laughed nervously. "Probably why I bring donuts instead of, like, celery sticks." "Celery sticks wouldn't have the same effect." "No." "No." Another pause. She was looking at him differently now, less like he was a shark, and more like he was a puzzle she was trying to solve. "I should get back to work," she said softly. "Of course." But neither of them moved. "Mr. Crane." "Declan." Her eyes widened. "What?" "My name is Declan." He didn't know why he said it. He never corrected employees on formality, but hearing Mr. Crane from her felt wrong somehow, like a wall he suddenly wanted gone. "Oh." She bit her lower lip. "Okay. Declan." The way she said his name, careful, like she was testing how it felt, did something dangerous to his chest. "I'll see you around, Elise." "Yeah, see you." He walked away before he could say anything else stupid. That afternoon, Declan found himself taking routes through the office that happened to pass her desk. 4 times. He noticed things, like how she kept a small bottle of cocoa butter lotion in her drawer and applied it to her hands every hour. How she mouthed the words when she read emails, her lips moving slightly. How she decorated her succulents pot with a tiny hand-painted smiley face. How she said thank you to the cleaning staff every evening when they emptied the trash cans. How she remembered everyone's coffee order and sometimes brought extra for people having rough days. How she made the office feel less like a corporate machine and more like a place where humans worked. At 4 p.m., his assistant knocked on his door. "Yes?" "Sir, The quarterly report is ready for your review. Send it over. Already in your inbox. She paused. Also, HR wanted to confirm the company policy on workplace relationships. It's still in effect, correct? Declan's head snapped up. Why are you asking? Just routine verification. There's been some talk. What kind of talk? She shifted uncomfortably. Nothing specific. Just wanted to make sure the guidelines were clear. After she left, Declan sat very still. Workplace relationships were prohibited between supervisors and direct reports. He'd implemented that rule himself 3 years ago, after a messy situation in the Chicago branch. Elise wasn't his direct report, but he was the CEO. The power dynamic was still there, still complicated, still something he'd have to navigate carefully if what? If he wanted to know her better, if he wanted to hear that laugh outside of office hours, if he wanted to understand why a woman who brought donuts to stressed co-workers was occupying every spare thought in his head. He'd built an empire on control, and Elise Brooks was making him realize how little control he actually had. Friday afternoon, Elise was running on fumes. She'd been up until midnight working on a presentation deck for the marketing VP, then woke up at 5:30 because her upstairs neighbor decided that was the perfect time to rearrange furniture. Her edges were doing that thing where they started to curl despite the edge control, and she'd spilled iced coffee on her keyboard around 10 a.m. It was not her day. "Girl, you look exhausted," Tasha said over the phone during Elise's lunch break. She was eating sad desk salad again because she'd forgotten to grab the leftovers her mama had packed. "I am exhausted. I think I've had 4 hours of sleep this week combined. You need to go home." "Can't. Big presentation Monday. If I don't finish this deck, Caroline will have my head." "Caroline can wait. You need sleep." "I need this job, Tash." Her best friend sighed. "Fine, but I'm bringing you real food tonight. No arguments. You're the best." "I know." Elise hung up and rubbed her eyes. Her computer screen was starting to blur. She'd been staring at the same slide for 20 minutes, and the words were swimming. She needed more coffee, strong coffee. Maybe she'd walk to Octane Coffee on the Beltline. The fresh air might help wake her up. She grabbed her wallet and headed for the elevators. The doors opened. Declan Crane stepped out. They nearly collided. "Oh, sorry." Elise stumbled back, and his hand shot out, steadying her elbow. "Careful." His hand was warm through her sleeve, large. She could feel the pressure of each finger. He let go immediately. "Sorry," she repeated, suddenly very aware that she probably looked terrible. No makeup retouch since this morning, hair frizzing slightly, exhaustion written all over her face. Declan was studying her, really studying her. Not the polite, distant look he usually gave employees, but something closer, more focused. "Are you all right?" "Yeah, fine, just tired." "When did you last sleep?" The question caught her off guard. "I what?" "Sleep. When?" "I don't." "Why are you asking me that?" His jaw tightened. "You look exhausted." "Wow, thanks." She tried to smile. "Really boosting my confidence here." "That's not what I meant." He ran a hand through his hair. She'd never seen him do that before. It made him look almost human. "I meant you look like you need rest. I need coffee. Then I need to finish a presentation. Then maybe I'll sleep." She moved past him toward the elevators. "Have a good weekend, Mr. Crane." "Declan." She pressed the elevator button. "Right, Declan." "Where are you going?" "Coffee run. The break room has coffee." "The break room has brown water pretending to be coffee." The corner of his mouth twitched. Was that almost a smile? "Fair point," he said. The elevator arrived. She stepped in. He followed. Elise blinked. "You're coming with me?" "I could use decent coffee too." The doors closed. They stood on opposite sides of the small space, the numbers ticking down. Elise could smell his cologne, something clean and expensive. Cedar, maybe. Definitely not the Axe body spray half the guys in the office drowned themselves in. "You don't have to do this," she said quietly. "Do what?" "Babysit me, I'm fine." "I'm not babysitting, I'm getting coffee." "You have an espresso machine in your office." How do you know that? Everyone knows that. It's like office legend. The CEO's sacred espresso machine that cost more than my car. This time he definitely almost smiled. It was a gift. From who? The coffee gods. My ex-wife. The words hung in the air. Oh, Elise said softly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's fine. The elevator reached the lobby. The doors opened. She has excellent taste in coffee machines, terrible taste in husbands. They walked outside together. The October air was perfect, cool but not cold, with that golden afternoon light that made everything look softer. The Beltline was crowded with joggers, dogs, people on electric scooters. This way, Elise said, leading them toward Octane Coffee. They walked in silence for a minute. How long were you married? She asked, then immediately regretted it. Sorry, that's too personal. 7 years, divorced 5 years ago. Are you still friends? No. She's remarried, lives in Boston. We email occasionally about tax documents. He glanced at her. That sounded bitter. Little bit. I'm not bitter, just realistic. What happened, if you don't mind me asking? Declan was quiet for a moment. She said I worked too much. Loved the company more than her, she wasn't wrong. Oh, I built Apex from nothing. 16-hour days, 7 days a week for years. She knew that when we met, but knowing something and living with it are different things. Elise nodded. Yeah, they are. They reached Octane Coffee, a small brick building with outdoor seating and string lights. Elise ordered her usual caramel macchiato. Declan ordered a black coffee. No sugar, she asked as they waited. Bitter coffee for a bitter divorce, he deadpanned. She laughed. Couldn't help it. Did you just make a joke? I've been known to attempt humor. Attempt is accurate. Ouch. Their drinks arrived. They walked back slowly, neither of them in a hurry. Can I ask you something? Declan said. Sure. Why do you do it? Do what? Make everything better for everyone else. The donuts, the encouragement, remembering birthdays. You don't have to do any of that. Elise thought about it. My mama always said you never know what someone's going through. A smile costs nothing. I guess it stuck. Your mother sounds wise. She is. Also terrifying. She can read people in like 3 seconds flat. Sounds useful. It's terrifying when you're 16 and trying to sneak out. Declan smiled. Actually smiled. Small. Brief but real. Elise felt something flutter in her chest. Dangerous, she thought. This is dangerous. They reached the building, stood in the lobby. Thank you for the coffee break, Declan said. You're welcome. Thanks for the company. He hesitated. Elise. Yeah? Go home after you finish that presentation. Sleep. The work will still be there Monday. I know, but that's not a suggestion. She raised an eyebrow. Is that an order, Mr. Crane? Declan, and yes. Bossy. Effective. She grinned. Fine. I'll go home. Eventually. Good. They took the elevator back up together. When it reached the 15th floor, Elise stepped out, turned back. Declan? Yes? You're not as scary as everyone thinks. The doors closed before he could respond. Elise changed her outfit 4 times. The black dress was too formal. The jeans felt too casual. The blue sundress made her look like she was trying too hard. The burgundy wrap dress was perfect until Tasha said it looked like she was going to a job interview. Girl, just wear the green one, Tasha said from her spot on Elise's bed. Eating popcorn like this was entertainment. The green one shows too much leg. Exactly. Elise threw a pillow at her. She ended up in a soft pink blouse tucked into high-waisted black pants, her hair in loose curls that had taken an hour and every product in her bathroom. Gold hoops, minimal makeup, cocoa butter on every inch of exposed skin because she refused to be ashy on a first date with a billionaire. You look gorgeous, Tasha said seriously. He's going to lose his mind. He's probably dated supermodels. And now he's dating you. Upgrade. Elise laughed despite her nerves. Her phone buzzed. Declan, I'm outside. No rush. He's here, Elise whispered. Go get him, boo. Elise grabbed her purse. checked her edges one last time in the mirror and headed downstairs. Declan was leaning against a sleek black car, not a limo, thank God, just a really nice sedan, wearing dark jeans and a grey Henley. No suit. His hair was slightly messy, like he'd run his hands through it. He looked good, unfairly good. When he saw her, he straightened up, and something in his expression shifted, softened. "Hi. Hi," she managed. "You look beautiful." "Thanks. You look not scary." He laughed, actually laughed. That's the goal. He opened the car door for her. The interior smelled like leather and expensive cologne. She tried not to think about how much this car probably cost. "Where are we going?" she asked as he pulled into traffic. "Do you trust me?" That's a loaded question for a first date. Fair point. He glanced at her, smiling. "Somewhere quiet, good food, no pretentious waiters asking if you want sparkling or still water like it's a personality test." "Okay, I can work with that." They drove through Midtown past Piedmont Park and pulled up to a small restaurant tucked into a corner on Ponce. The sign said Desta Ethiopian Kitchen in warm yellow letters. Elise's heart squeezed. "You like Ethiopian food?" Declan asked, suddenly uncertain. "I looked up places you might enjoy, and this one had amazing reviews. But if you'd prefer something else—" "No," she said softly. "This is perfect." Inside, the restaurant was cozy, low lighting, traditional music playing softly, the smell of Berber spices filling the air. They were seated at a small table in the corner, away from the few other diners. Declan looked completely out of place, and somehow completely at ease. "I've never had Ethiopian food," he admitted after they ordered. "Never? I've spent most of my adult life eating in boardrooms or alone in my office." "That's depressing." "It is, isn't it?" He smiled. "So educate me." The food arrived on a large platter, injera bread covered with colorful stews, vegetables, lentils. Elise showed him how to tear off pieces of injera and scoop up the food. "No utensils?" he asked. "Nope, gotta use your hands." "I'm going to be terrible at this." "Probably." He was, in fact, terrible at it. The injera kept falling apart. He got sauce on his thumb. But he laughed at himself, and that made all the difference. "Okay, this is incredible," he said after his third bite. "Why have I been eating boring grilled chicken for 10 years? Because you didn't have me to show you better options." True. They talked, really talked. He told her about growing up in Boston, the pressure from his father to take over the family business, the divorce 5 years ago that left him convinced he was better off alone. She told him about her mama's Sunday dinners, her dream of opening a bookstore cafe, how she'd worked 3 jobs to pay for college. "A bookstore cafe," he repeated. "Tell me more." "It's silly." "It's not." So she told him about the vision she'd had since she was 15, cozy armchairs, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, the smell of coffee and old paper, a place where people could breathe. "That's not silly," Declan said quietly. "That's beautiful. It's expensive. Commercial real estate in Atlanta isn't cheap." "No, but it's possible." The way he said it, like he believed in her dream more than she did, made her chest ache. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Anything." "Why now?" "Why me? You could have anyone." Declan set down his injera and looked at her directly. "Because everyone else wanted something from me. Money, status, connections." He paused. "You just wanted me to be human, and I didn't realize how much I needed that until you showed me." Elise felt tears prick her eyes. "Hey." He reached across the table, hesitated, then gently took her hand. "Did I say something wrong?" "No, you said something really right." His thumb brushed across her knuckles. They stayed like that, hands linked across the table until their server came to clear the plates. Outside, the air had cooled. Declan walked her back to the car, but neither of them moved to get in. "Thank you," Elise said. "For tonight. Thank you for saying yes." They stood there, close enough that she could smell his cologne, far enough that the space between them felt intentional. "Elise." "Yeah? Can I see you again?" She smiled. "I'd like that." He drove her home, walked her to her door, didn't kiss her, but the way he looked at her, like she was something precious, felt more intimate than a kiss. Good night, Elise. Good night, Declan. She watched him drive away before going inside. Tasha was waiting, of course. Tell me everything. Elise collapsed on the couch, grinning like an idiot. I think I'm in trouble. Monday morning felt different. Elise walked into the office with a secret tucked against her ribs, warm, thrilling, terrifying. She'd spent Sunday texting Declan. Nothing important. Everything important. Photos of her mama's cooking, his terrible attempt at making breakfast, a debate about whether pineapple belonged on pizza. It didn't, and she'd die on that hill. Normal things. Except nothing felt normal when the person texting you back was your CEO. Taylor caught her smiling at her phone. What's got you all glowy? Nothing. Elise locked her screen too quickly. Nothing, sure. Taylor grinned. Spill. There's nothing to spill. You're a terrible liar. Before Elise could respond, Jordan rolled his chair over. Did you hear? Crane's in early, like 6 a.m. early, and he's smiling. Elise's heart stumbled. Smiling? Taylor repeated. Our Crane? Declan Crane? I know, right. Mitchell said he walked past him in the hallway, and Crane actually said good morning first, not the other way around. That's weird. That's terrifying. Elise kept her eyes on her computer screen and tried to look busy. At 10 a.m., her phone buzzed. Declan. Coffee break. Elise. People will notice if we disappear at the same time. Declan. So? Elise. So I like my job? Declan. Fair point. Lunch then. Off-site. Elise. Declan. Declan. Elise. Elise. Fine, Elise. But somewhere nobody from work goes. Declan. Deal. She looked up and caught him watching her from across the floor through the glass walls of the conference room. He was in a meeting, supposedly paying attention to whatever presentation was happening, but he was looking at her. She quickly looked away, her face heating. This was dangerous. Lunch was at a tiny sandwich shop in Virginia Highland, 15 minutes away from the office, the kind of place with chalkboard menus and mismatched chairs where nobody wore suits. Declan looked absurdly out of place in his Tom Ford among the college students and freelancers. This okay? He asked, suddenly uncertain. It's perfect. They ordered. Turkey avocado for her, plain roast beef for him. You're so boring, Miss, she teased, and sat at a corner table by the window. I missed you this weekend, Declan said quietly. You saw me Friday. I know. Something in her chest fluttered dangerously. We need to talk about work, she said. His expression shifted. Careful. Okay. People are going to notice. They probably already have. Let them. Easy for you to say. You're the CEO. You're what? Replaceable? No. His voice was sharp. You're not. Declan, I won't let anyone make you feel like this is wrong. He leaned forward. But if you want to keep it quiet for now, I understand. We can be careful. How careful can we be when you look at me like that in the middle of the office? A smile tugged at his mouth. Like what? You know like what? Tell me anyway. Like I'm... She trailed off, suddenly shy. Like you're the only person in the room, he finished. Because you are. Her heart was doing concerning things again. They ate, talked about nothing important. He told her about the project acquisition deal he was negotiating. She told him about the new marketing campaign she was developing. Normal work conversation, except his foot was touching hers under the table, and that made everything feel not normal at all. That afternoon, everything fell apart. Elise was in the break room refilling her coffee when she heard voices in the hallway. I'm just saying it's weird. What's weird? Crane. He's been different lately, nicer. So I saw him having lunch with Elise from marketing at that sandwich place on Virginia. Elise froze. Elise Brooks? Yeah, they looked pretty cozy. You think something's going on? I don't know, but if it is, she better be careful. Company policy's pretty clear about relationships, especially with the boss. Especially with the boss. Footsteps faded. Elise set down the coffee pot with shaking hands. This was exactly what she'd been afraid of. She made it back to her desk and buried herself in work, ignoring the anxiety crawling up her throat. At 4 p.m., her phone buzzed. "Declan, my office, please." Her stomach dropped. The elevator ride felt like ascending to her execution. Declan's door was closed. She knocked. "Come in." He was standing at the window, hands in his pockets, tense. "Close the door," he said quietly. She did. "Someone saw us at lunch." "I know, I heard." He turned to face her. "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For putting you in this position. For being careless." He ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. "I should have thought this through better. Declan, if this is going to hurt your career, we should stop, now, before it goes further." The words hit her like cold water. "Is that what you want?" she asked. "No, God, no." He crossed to her in 3 steps. "But I won't let you pay the price for my selfishness. It's not selfish if I want it too." "Elise, I'm scared," she admitted. "I'm terrified, actually, but not of us. I'm scared of losing this before we even get a chance to see what it could be." He looked at her like she'd just said something profound. "So what do we do?" he asked. "We're careful, like you said. We keep things professional at work. No more looking at me like that across the office. I'll try. You'll succeed. Bossy. You like it." He smiled. Real, warm, genuine. "I do." She stepped closer. "One more thing." "What?" "Kiss me, right now, before I lose my nerve and overthink everything." Declan didn't need to be told twice. He closed the distance, cupped her face in his hands, gentle, careful, like she was something precious, and kissed her. Soft at first, testing. Then deeper when she sighed against his mouth. She forgot where they were, forgot the rules, forgot everything except the feeling of his lips on hers and the way his thumb brushed her cheek. When they broke apart, they were both breathing hard. "Worth the risk," she whispered. "Absolutely." Saturday morning, Elise woke up to sunlight streaming through her window and a text that made her smile before she was fully conscious. Declan. "Good morning. Coffee." Elise. "It's 7 a.m. on a Saturday, Declan. Is that a no?" Elise. "It's a give me 30 minutes to look human." Declan. "You already look human. A beautiful one." Elise. "You can't see me right now." Declan. "Don't need to." She buried her face in her pillow, grinning like an idiot. 30 minutes later, okay, 45 because her hair wasn't cooperating, she met him at Octane Coffee on the Belt Line. He was waiting outside, wearing jeans and a black t-shirt, looking unfairly good for someone who probably woke up perfect. "Hey," she said, suddenly shy. "Hey." He kissed her cheek, casual and natural, like they'd been doing this for years instead of days. They walked the Belt Line together, coffee in hand, talking about nothing important. He told her about the podcast he'd been listening to. She told him about the book she was reading. Normal things, easy things. "I need to go to the store," Elise said eventually. "Grocery shopping, very exciting Saturday plans." "Can I come?" She stopped walking. "You want to go grocery shopping?" "I want to spend time with you. If that happens to be at a grocery store, so be it. You're strange. You like it." She did. The Kroger on Ponce was crowded with weekend shoppers. Elise grabbed a cart and headed for produce. Declan picked up an avocado, squeezed it, frowned, put it back. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Trying to figure out if this is ripe." "By crushing it to death?" "I thought you were supposed to squeeze them." "Gently, Declan, not like you're interrogating it." She took the avocado, pressed it softly, handed it back. "This one's good, see? Gives a little but not too much. You're very passionate about produce." "I'm passionate about not eating hard avocados." He smiled, dropping it in the cart. Noted. They moved through the aisles. She grabbed ingredients for stir-fry. He suggested adding things he clearly knew nothing about. "We don't need truffle oil for chicken stir-fry, Declan." "Why not? Isn't truffle fancy?" "It's expensive, different thing. I can afford—" "I know you can." She squeezed his hand. "But we're making normal people food, not Michelin star confusion." "Fair enough." At the spice aisle, she stopped, stared at the prices. "Everything okay?" he asked. "Yeah, I need to restock some spices. This is gonna hurt." He looked at the tiny jars. "These are $8 each. Welcome to why I cry in grocery stores." Without a word, he started grabbing spices and dropping them in the cart. Paprika, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, oregano. "Declan, you need them. I want to cook with you. Therefore, we need them." "You don't have to." "I know." He kissed her forehead. "I want to." At checkout, a voice behind them made Elise freeze. "Elise?" She turned. Jordan from work, holding a basket of energy drinks and frozen pizza. "Hey, Jordan." Her voice went up half an octave. Jordan's eyes flicked to Declan, back to Elise, to the cart full of groceries, to Declan's hand on her lower back. "Mr. Crane. Hi. Didn't expect to see you. Here. Jordan." Declan nodded, perfectly calm. "Grocery shopping. Revolutionary concept." "Right. Yeah. Cool." Jordan was clearly dying inside. "I'll just see you Monday." After he left, Elise exhaled slowly. "That was fine," Declan finished. "We're allowed to exist in public." "I know. It's just weird. We'll get used to it." She hoped he was right. Back at his place, they unpacked groceries together. His kitchen was massive and criminally underused, all stainless steel and marble counters without a single coffee stain or splash mark. "This kitchen is depressing," Elise said. "Why?" "Because it's never been loved. Look at it. It's too clean. Kitchens are supposed to have character." "You want me to dirty it?" "I want you to use it. I'm about to with you." She pulled out the chicken, vegetables, rice, started prepping while he watched like she was performing surgery. "Can I help?" he asked. "Can you chop vegetables?" "I can try." She handed him a knife and a bell pepper. Small pieces, all the same size if possible. He started cutting. Slowly, carefully. The pieces were comically uneven. "Declan." "What?" "That piece is the size of my fist. That one is a molecule." "I'm learning." She laughed, moving beside him. "Here, like this." She guided his hands, showing him the rocking motion. He was warm against her back, solid and focused. "Better?" he asked. "Better." They worked side by side. She cooked the chicken, he managed the rice without burning it, barely, and together they assembled something that actually looked like dinner. "Now," she said, pointing at the chicken, "taste this." He did. "It's good. It's bland." "What?" "Declan, this has no flavor." "I added salt. A pinch. You need flavor. Garlic, paprika, something." She grabbed spices, showed him. "This is what makes food taste like something other than sadness. I've been eating sad food for years." "I know, it shows." She seasoned the chicken properly, made him taste it again. His eyes widened. "Oh, right? I've been living wrong." "Yes, but I'm here to fix that." They ate on his couch, legs tangled together, arguing about whether pineapple belonged on pizza. It didn't, and she would die on that hill. "You're wrong," he said. "You're delusional. It's sweet and savory, balance. It's a crime against Italian cuisine. You're very passionate about this, because I'm right." He kissed her, smiling against her lips. "Still wrong. Agree to disagree. Never." Later, they were sprawled on his couch, Elise's head on his chest, some movie playing that neither of them were watching. "Tell me something," she said quietly. "What?" "About your dad. You mentioned him once but never elaborated." Declan was quiet for a long moment. "He built Crane Industries from nothing, started as an accountant, turned it into a Fortune 500 company. He was brilliant, ruthless, completely consumed by work." "Sounds familiar." "Yeah." His hand traced patterns on her shoulder. "He died of a heart attack at 56 in his office, middle of a conference call." "Declan." "I was 28, just starting Apex. I remember thinking, is this what success looks like? Dying alone at your desk?" She lifted her head to look at him. "You're not him. I was becoming him before you. Before me, you were surviving. There's a difference." He cupped her face. "You make me want to live, not just survive." She kissed him, soft then deeper. When they broke apart, she settled back against his chest. "Tell me something," he said. "What?" "About the bookstore dream. When did it start?" She smiled. "I was 15. My dad died that year. Cancer. I spent a lot of time in the library just hiding, reading, and there was this librarian, Mrs. Chen. She'd recommend books like she could see inside my head, like she knew exactly what I needed. She sounds wonderful. She was. One day I told her I wanted to do what she did. She said, 'Then do it, but make it yours. Make it a place where people feel safe.'" Elise's voice got softer. "The bookstore isn't just about books, it's about creating that space where people can breathe." "You're going to do it," Declan said with certainty. "You don't know that." "I do, because when you talk about it, your whole face lights up. That's not a maybe dream. That's a when dream." She felt tears prick her eyes. "What if I fail? What if you don't?" He tilted her chin up. "What if you build exactly what you're imagining? What if people walk in and feel instantly at home? What if it becomes the place you wished you had when you were 15? You really believe that?" "I believe in you, completely." She kissed him again, harder this time, pouring everything she couldn't say into it. They fell asleep there, tangled together, the movie long forgotten. Sunday morning, Elise woke up in Declan's bed. Nothing happened. They just migrated there around 3 a.m. to her phone ringing. "Mama." "Oh no," she muttered. "What?" Declan's voice was rough with sleep. "My mother is calling at 8 a.m. on a Sunday." "That's bad. That's either very good or very bad," she answered. "Hey, Mama." "Good morning, baby. Where are you?" Elise's eyes went wide. "What?" "I'm at your apartment. Wanted to drop off some food." "You're not here." "I'm das out." "Out where?" "With a friend." This friend got a name?" Declan was watching her, amused. "Mama, bring him to dinner next Sunday, 4 o'clock. Don't be late." "How do you know it's a him?" "Because you got that voice, the one you get when you're hiding something good." 4 o'clock, Elise, I want to meet him." She hung up. Elise stared at her phone. "What happened?" Declan asked. "My mother wants you to come to Sunday dinner next week." "Okay." "Okay? That's it? Just okay? Should I be concerned?" "Yes. She's going to interrogate you, and my brother will be there. Marcus is very protective, like scary protective. I can handle it. Declan, you don't understand. This is meeting the family. That's big." "I know." He pulled her closer. "That's why I said yes. You're not scared. Terrified. But I want to meet them. I want them to know I'm serious about you." She buried her face in his chest. "What if they don't approve? What if they do? What if they see us together and think it's weird?" "Elise." He made her look at him. "Your mother already knows about me. She called specifically to invite me. That means she's ready to meet me. And if your family is anything like you, they're going to see what I see, that we make sense." "Do we?" "Yeah." He kissed her forehead. "We really do." She exhaled slowly. "Okay, Sunday dinner, 4 p.m. Prepare yourself." "I'll wear my bulletproof vest." "Smart man." 2 weeks later, Elise made a terrible decision. She invited Declan to Sunday dinner at her mama's house. "You did what?" Tasha shrieked through the phone. "I panicked. She asked if I was seeing anyone, and I said yes, and then she said bring him by, and I said okay. Girl, your mama is going to eat that man alive." "I know. Does he know what he's getting into?" "Not even a little bit." Elise had tried to warn him. Really, she had. "Elise, so about Sunday?" Declan, "I'm looking forward to it." Elise, "My mama is." "A lot." Declan, "I can handle it." Elise, famous last words. Declan, "Elise, I've negotiated with Fortune 500 CEOs. I think I can handle your mother." Elise, "This is so much worse than that, Elise. Also, my brother will be there." Declan, "Great, more people to meet." Elise, Declan. Elise, "He's protective, Elise. Like very protective, Declan. Noted, I'll wear my bulletproof vest." Elise, "I'm serious." Declan, "So am I." Stop worrying. She was definitely worrying. Sunday arrived too fast. Declan picked her up at noon, wearing dark jeans and a simple navy button-down. casual, approachable. Still somehow looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. "You look nice," she said. "You look terrified." "I am terrified." He took her hand. "It'll be fine. You keep saying that, because it's true." Her mama's house was in southwest Atlanta, a brick ranch with a garden her mama tended like it was her fourth child. The smell of fried chicken hit them before they even reached the door. "Oh God," Elise muttered. "That smells incredible. Wait till you taste it. Then you'll understand why I can never leave Atlanta." The door opened before they could knock. Her mama stood there, Gloria Brooks, 5'4" of pure energy, wearing her Sunday best and an expression that said she was about to conduct an interrogation. "Mama, this is Declan. Declan, this is my mother, Gloria. Mrs. Brooks." Declan extended his hand, smiling warmly. "Thank you for having me." Gloria looked at his hand, then at him, then at Elise, then back at him. Finally, she shook his hand. "Come on in. Dinner's almost ready." Inside, the house smelled like heaven. Fried chicken, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread. Elise's brother Marcus was sitting on the couch watching the Falcons pre-game. He stood up when they entered. 6'2", built like he still played college football, and wearing an expression that said he'd already decided Declan was guilty of something. "Marcus, be nice," Elise warned. "I'm always nice." Marcus crossed his arms. "So you're the boss?" "I am," Declan said evenly. "How long you been dating my sister?" 3 weeks. "That's not very long." "No, but I'm hoping for much longer." Marcus's eyebrow went up. "We'll see." "Marcus, stop interrogating the man and help me set the table," Gloria called from the kitchen. Marcus gave Declan one more assessing look before heading to help. Elise exhaled. "I'm so sorry." "Don't be. He cares about you, I respect that. You're handling this suspiciously well." "I told you I could." Dinner was served family style. Everything on the table, pass the dishes around, help yourself. Declan sat between Elise and Marcus, which felt like strategic warfare placement. "So, Declan," Gloria began, spooning greens onto her plate, "what are your intentions with my daughter?" Elise nearly choked on her sweet tea. "Mama, it's a fair question." Declan set down his fork and looked at Gloria directly. "I care about Elise very much. She's kind, intelligent, funny, and she makes me want to be a better person. My intention is to be someone worthy of her time and attention." The table went silent. Gloria studied him. "You got any kids?" "No, ma'am." "You been married?" "Once. Divorced 5 years ago." "Why'd it end?" "Mama," Elise hissed. "It's okay." Declan's voice was calm. "It ended because I prioritized work over everything else. I was building a company and forgot I was supposed to be building a partnership. I learned from that mistake." "And you won't make it again?" "Not if I can help it." Gloria nodded slowly. "You know how to play spades?" Declan smiled. "I can learn." "Good answer." Marcus leaned over to Elise. "He's all right." "Really?" "Yeah, still gonna watch him, though." "Wouldn't expect anything less." After dinner, Gloria pulled Elise aside while Declan helped Marcus clear the table. "He's different from what I expected," Gloria said quietly. "Different how?" "He looks at you like you hung the moon, baby." Elise's chest tightened. "Yeah?" "Yeah, and he's respectful, polite, didn't flinch when your brother got all territorial." Gloria squeezed her hand. "Just be careful. He's got a whole different world than ours." "I know, Mama. But if he makes you happy, that's what matters." Tears burned Elise's eyes. "He does. Then that's enough for me." In the kitchen, Marcus was teaching Declan the proper way to dry cast iron. "So you don't use soap," Marcus was saying. "Just hot water and this brush." "Why no soap?" "Strips the seasoning. You want to build up that flavor over time." Declan nodded seriously, like he was learning something crucial. "Got it. No soap." "You really care about my sister?" "I do. She's special. Always has been. Brightest person in any room." "I know." Marcus handed him another pan. "You hurt her, we're gonna have problems." "Understood. Good talk." On the drive home, Elise was quiet. "You okay?" Declan asked. "You learned how to clean cast iron." "I did." You answered my mama's interrogation without flinching. She was easier than most board meetings. You fit. The words came out soft, wondering. In my world, you actually fit. He glanced at her, then back at the road. That surprise you? Yeah, a little. Surprises me too. He reached over and took her hand. But I like it. She squeezed his fingers. Thank you, she said, for today. Any time. He walked her to her door, kissed her good night, soft, sweet, lingering. See you tomorrow, he murmured against her lips. At work, where we have to pretend this isn't happening. Worth it. She watched him drive away, heart full and terrified in equal measure. Inside her phone buzzed. Mama, I like him. Don't mess this up. Elise, Mama. Mama, just saying, he's a good one. Elise fell onto her couch, grinning. Maybe this could actually work. It happened on a Wednesday. Elise and Declan had been careful for 5 weeks. No lingering looks in meetings. No accidental touches in the break room. They were professionals at work, and everything else happened outside those glass doors. It was exhausting, but it was working. Until it wasn't. The day started normal enough. Elise arrived at 8, coffee in hand, ready to tackle the presentation deck for the upcoming client pitch. Declan was already in his office. She could see him through the windows, on a call, pacing like he always did when negotiations got intense. At 10 a.m., the marketing team gathered in the large conference room for their weekly strategy meeting. 12 people around the table, laptops open, ideas flying. Elise was presenting the social media campaign she'd been developing for their newest client, a sustainable fashion brand looking to break into the Atlanta market. The target demographic is women 25 to 40, she explained, clicking through slides. We're focusing on authenticity, community engagement, and... The conference room door opened. Declan walked in. Everyone straightened slightly. He rarely attended marketing meetings. That was usually delegated to the CMO. Don't mind me, he said, taking a seat at the back of the room. Continue. Elise's brain short-circuited for exactly 3 seconds. Then she recovered. Right. As I was saying, community engagement is key. We're proposing a series of local events, pop-ups at Ponce City Market, collaboration with Black-owned boutiques in Little 5 Points. She made it through the presentation without looking at him once. When she finished, the CMO nodded approvingly. Solid work. Elise, let's move forward with this. I agree, Declan said from the back. Everyone turned to look at him. The approach is smart, authentic, exactly what this client needs. His eyes met Elise's for a brief moment. Well done. Thank you, Mr. Crane, she said carefully. The meeting continued. Elise tried to focus on the other presentations, but she could feel Declan's presence like a physical thing. When the meeting ended, everyone filed out. Elise was gathering her laptop when she felt him behind her. That was impressive, he said quietly. Thanks. She kept her voice neutral, professional. Did you need something? Just wanted to see you present. You're good at this. Declan, I know I'm being careful. You being here isn't careful. I'm the CEO. I can attend any meeting I want. That's not the point. He smiled slightly. Dinner tonight? Can't. Tasha's birthday drinks. Tomorrow then. Okay. They were standing too close. She could smell his cologne, something clean and expensive that she'd come to associate with safety. You should go, she whispered. I know. But he didn't move, and neither did she. The conference room door opened. Taylor walked in, stopped dead, and immediately backed out. Sorry. Thought everyone was gone. Elise's heart hammered. We were just discussing the presentation, Declan finished smoothly. Elise had some questions about budget allocation. Right, cool, yeah. Taylor disappeared. Elise closed her eyes. That was close. Too close. We need to be more careful. I know. He stepped back, putting proper distance between them. I'm sorry. It's not just you. It's both of us. That evening, something shifted. Thursday morning, Declan called an emergency executive meeting. By Thursday afternoon, HR sent out a memo. The workplace relationship policy was being revised. Effective immediately, Employees could date as long as they disclosed it to HR and ensured no conflicts of interest. Elise stared at her screen in disbelief. Declan, did you see the memo? Elise, what did you do, Declan? I made it possible for us to stop hiding. Elise, Declan. Elise, you can't just change company policy. Declan, I'm the CEO. I can revise outdated policies. Elise, people are going to know this is about us, Declan. Eventually, but now we can be honest without you losing your job. Elise, you should have asked me first. Declan, you're right. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry for wanting to stop pretending. She stared at her phone, then Taylor rolled over. Did you see the memo? Yeah. Interesting timing. Taylor's expression was unreadable. Right after Crane starts showing up to marketing meetings. Elise said nothing. I'm happy for you, Taylor said quietly. Really, just be careful. Friday morning, everything exploded. Elise arrived to find the office buzzing with an energy that felt wrong. People were clustered in groups, whispering, looking at their phones. What's going on? She asked Taylor. Check the company message board. Anonymous post. Elise pulled up her laptop. The post was titled, Favoritism at the Top. Interesting that the CEO changes a major policy right after being spotted multiple times with a certain marketing coordinator. Is this how promotions work now? Date the boss? Her stomach dropped. The comments were worse. I've been here 5 years and never gotten that kind of attention. Must be nice to have connections. This is exactly why that policy existed in the first place. Elise felt sick. Her phone buzzed. Declan, my office, now. She took the elevator up, legs shaking. Declan's door was open. He was standing at the window, shoulders tense. Close the door, he said without turning around. She did. I've seen the post, he said. Declan, HR is opening an investigation into whether you've received preferential treatment. The words hit like ice water. What? He turned to face her. Someone filed a formal complaint. They're auditing all your projects, your promotions, everything. But I know you did. But we have to prove it. His jaw was tight. They're also questioning whether the policy change was motivated by personal interest. It was. Elise, it was, Declan. We both know it. You changed the rule because of us. I changed an outdated policy that was preventing good people from being honest about their relationships and conveniently allowed us to stop hiding. Silence. This is bad, she said quietly. It's manageable. Is it? Because right now everyone thinks I slept my way into this job. No one who matters thinks that. Everyone matters, her voice cracked. Every person in this office who's wondering if I deserve to be here matters. Every woman who's going to face the same speculation now matters. Declan crossed to her. Then we prove them wrong. You do your work. I stay out of it. HR completes their investigation and finds nothing because there's nothing to find. And if they don't, they will. You can't know that. I know you. I know your work. That's enough. She wanted to believe him, but the fear was louder. The next week was hell. HR interviewed everyone, reviewed every project Elise had worked on, compared her performance reviews to her peers. Michelle from accounting was particularly vocal. I'm just saying it's suspicious. The timing. Elise sat through a 3-hour meeting where she had to defend every decision she'd made in 8 months. The sustainable fashion campaign. Whose idea was that? The HR director asked. Mine. I pitched it to Caroline in June, before Mr. Crane and I started dating. And the budget increase for that campaign? Approved by the CMO, not by Declan, Mr. Crane. But he was aware. He's aware of all major campaigns. That's his job. It went on and on. Elise left, feeling hollowed out. That night, Declan came to her apartment. She opened the door and the concern in his eyes almost broke her. Hey. She let him in. They sat on her couch in silence for a long moment. I'm thinking about quitting, she said finally. His head snapped toward her. What? If I leave, the investigation stops. The gossip stops. You don't have to deal with this. Elise, I can find another job. But you, this could hurt the company. Hurt you. I don't care. You should. The only thing I care about is you. He took her hands. Don't let them chase you out. Don't let them make you feel like you don't belong here. Maybe I don't. Maybe this was a mistake. Us? All of it. The job, the relationship. Maybe I was naive to think I could have both. Declan was quiet. Then, do you love me? The question caught her off guard. What? Do you love me? You know I do. Then fight, not for me, not for us, for you, because you earned this position, because you're brilliant at what you do, because walking away now means they win. Tears burned her eyes. I'm scared. I know. So am I. Of what? Of losing you, of you deciding I'm not worth this fight. She looked at him, really looked, saw the fear he was trying to hide. You're worth it, she whispered. Then stay, please. She leaned into him, and he held her like she was something precious. Okay, she said against his chest. I'll stay. But if the investigation finds anything, it won't, because there's nothing to find. She hoped he was right. 2 weeks later, HR released their findings. Elise sat in the conference room, hands folded, trying not to shake. Patricia reviewed the report. After extensive review of Ms. Brooks's work history, performance evaluations, and project outcomes, we found no evidence of preferential treatment. Her promotions and project assignments were consistent with her performance reviews, which have been exemplary since her hiring. Elise exhaled. However, Patricia continued, we are recommending that Mr. Crane recuse himself from any direct decisions regarding Ms. Brooks's career advancement to avoid future conflicts of interest. Agreed, Declan said immediately. Already implemented. Then this matter is closed. Ms. Brooks, you're cleared of all allegations. After they left, Elise sat in the empty conference room. She'd won, but it didn't feel like winning. Her phone buzzed. Declan. My office. She went. He was standing by the window again, turned when she entered. You okay? He asked. I don't know. Yes. No. I proved I earned this job, but I had to prove it. No one else has to do that. I know, and I'm sorry. This is my fault. It's not. It is. I changed the policy without thinking through the consequences. I put you in this position. She crossed to him. We put us in this position, together, and we got through it, together. Did we, though? You had to defend yourself, your work, your integrity, because of me. Because of small people who can't imagine a woman earning something on her own. She cupped his face. Don't you dare take the blame for their ignorance. He pulled her close. I love you. I know. I love you too. Even after all this? Especially after all this. You stood by me. You trusted me to fight my own battle. That means everything. He kissed her, deep and grateful and full of relief. What now? She asked when they broke apart. Now we tell everyone. Officially. No more hiding. No more whispers. Just us. You sure? Completely. Are you? She thought about it. About the investigation. The gossip. The scrutiny. And then she thought about him, about them, about building something real. Yeah, she said. I'm sure. Monday morning, Elise walked into the office with her head held high. The investigation was over. She'd been cleared. But she knew the whispers wouldn't stop overnight. Taylor was waiting at her desk with 2 coffees. Heard the news, Taylor said, handing her one. Congrats. Thanks. For what it's worth, I never doubted you. Your work speaks for itself. I appreciate that. Jordan rolled over. Yeah, we all knew that complaint was garbage. Michelle's just bitter because her campaign ideas keep getting rejected. Elise laughed despite herself. Don't say that too loud. Why not? It's true. Jordan shrugged. You earned everything you've got here. Anyone with eyes can see that. The support helped, but she could still feel the stares from across the floor. At 10 a.m., Declan sent out a company-wide email. Subject: Transparency and Leadership Team. As many of you know, HR recently completed an investigation regarding workplace relationships and potential conflicts of interest. The investigation concluded with no findings of improper conduct. I want to address this directly. Elise Brooks and I are in a relationship. This relationship began outside of work and has been conducted with complete transparency. HR has been notified and appropriate measures are in place to ensure no conflicts of interest in her career management. Elise is an exceptional employee who has earned every opportunity she's received through talent, hard work, and dedication. Any suggestion otherwise is not only false, but disrespectful to her accomplishments. I expect all employees to treat each other with professionalism and respect, regardless of personal opinions about anyone's private life. Declan Crane, CEO. Elise stared at her screen. He'd just told the entire company. Her phone exploded with texts. Tasha, girl, he just claimed you publicly, Tasha. That's the most romantic corporate email I've ever seen, Tasha. Also slightly terrifying, but mostly romantic, Mama. Did that man just announce y'all to his whole company? Mama, I raised you right, Marcus. He's got guts. Respect. Elise looked up and caught Declan watching her through his office window. He raised his coffee cup slightly. She raised hers back. Lunchtime. The cafeteria was buzzing. Elise grabbed her usual salad and found a table near the window. Within minutes, several co-workers joined her, people she didn't normally eat with. That email was something, said a woman from finance. Took guts. Yeah, Elise said carefully. For what it's worth, I think the whole investigation was ridiculous. You've always been good at your job. Thank you. My girlfriend works in HR. Another colleague added. She said the review was thorough, like really thorough. They found nothing because there was nothing to find. Elise felt her shoulders relax slightly. Not everyone was against her. But then Michelle walked past with her lunch group, and Elise heard it clearly. Public relationships are still inappropriate. Doesn't matter what HR says. One of the women at Elise's table, Sarah from legal, stood up. Actually, Michelle, the policy is clear now. Disclosed relationships between non-reporting employees are permitted. If you have concerns, take them to HR. Otherwise, keep your opinions to yourself. Michelle's face flushed. She walked away without responding. Sarah sat back down. Sorry, that was unprofessional. But someone needed to say it. Thank you, Elise said quietly. We've got your back, Sarah said. Not all of us, apparently, but enough of us. That evening, Declan came to Elise's apartment with Thai food and an apology. I should have warned you about the email, he said, setting containers on her coffee table. You think? I was tired of being quiet, tired of people questioning you. So you went nuclear. Was it too much? She thought about it, about the stares, the whispers, but also about Taylor and Jordan and Sarah, about people standing up for her. It was bold, she said finally. Very you. Is that good or bad? Both. Mostly good. She kissed him. Thank you for defending me. Always. They ate on her couch, her legs across his lap, talking about everything except work. Mama wants you to come to church this Sunday, Elise said between bites of pad thai. Declan choked on his water. Church? Yeah. She wants to show you off to her church friends. That's terrifying. Welcome to dating a black woman with a southern mama. What do I wear? A suit. Nice shoes. Prepare for questions about marriage. We've been together 6 weeks. I'm aware Mama is not concerned with timelines. He laughed. Okay, church, I can do that. You sure? Elise, I just sent a company-wide email declaring my love for you. I think I can handle your mother's church friends. Your confidence is adorable and misplaced. Story of my life. That night, lying in her bed with him beside her, Elise's phone lit up with a notification. The anonymous message board post had been taken down. In its place, a statement from HR. Anonymous posts targeting specific employees are violations of our harassment policy and will not be tolerated. The author of the removed post has been identified and disciplinary action has been taken. They found who wrote it, she said. Declan looked at her phone. Good. Was it Michelle? I can't tell you that, but you know. HR shared the information confidentially. All I can say is appropriate action was taken. She got fired, didn't she? I can neither confirm nor deny. Declan. He pulled her closer. The person who wrote that post violated multiple policies, not just about you. They'd been warned before about similar behavior. This was the final straw. So I got someone fired. No, they got themselves fired by repeatedly harassing co-workers and violating company policy. You were just the most recent target. She processed that. I still feel weird about it. That's because you're a good person. But don't feel bad for someone facing consequences for their own actions. She nodded against his chest. How are you really doing? He asked. With all of this? Honestly, I'm exhausted, but also relieved. It's done. We don't have to hide anymore. We don't. People know, and most of them don't care. Some even support us. See, I told you it would be okay. You also put us through an HR investigation. Minor detail, she laughed. I love you. I love you too. Even though I made your life complicated. You made my life worth living. Completely different thing. She kissed him, long and slow, and full of relief and hope. Friday afternoon, Caroline, Elise's direct manager, called her into her office. Elise's stomach dropped. Is everything okay? More than okay. Sit. Elise sat. The sustainable fashion campaign you pitched. The client loved it. They're signing a 2-year contract. Biggest deal the marketing team has closed this quarter. Elise blinked. Really? Really? And they specifically requested you as the lead. But, before you say anything, this has nothing to do with Declan. This decision went through me, the CMO, and the client directly. Declan wasn't consulted per the new guidelines. Oh, you earned this, Elise. Your pitch was brilliant. Your strategy is solid. The client sees your talent. Caroline smiled. So do I. Congratulations. Elise felt tears burn. Thank you. You're welcome. Now go celebrate. That night, the whole team went out for drinks on the Beltline. Elise's promotion was official. Senior Marketing Strategist. Better title, better pay, better projects. Taylor raised a glass. To Elise, who survived an investigation, an office scandal, and Michelle from accounting. To Elise, everyone cheered. She laughed, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. Declan texted halfway through the celebration. Declan, heard about the promotion. Proud of you. Elise, you had nothing to do with it, Declan. I know. That's why I'm proud. You did this. Elise, thank you for believing in me. Declan, always. Enjoy your celebration. I'll see you tomorrow. Elise, Sunday dinner at Mama's. Don't forget, Declan. Wouldn't miss it, even though I'm terrified. Elise, good. You should be Elise. Love you, Declan. Love you too. She put her phone away and looked around at her co-workers, her friends celebrating with her. 6 weeks ago, she'd brought donuts to a stressed office. Now she had a promotion she'd earned, a relationship she'd fought for, and people who had her back. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And real was enough. Later that night, walking home alone, Elise passed a storefront with a "For Lease" sign. She stopped, looked at the space. It was small, cozy, windows facing the street, perfect lighting. She took a photo, sent it to Declan. Elise, found something. Declan, what is it? Elise, maybe nothing, maybe everything. We'll see. Declan, cryptic. I like it. Elise, patience, Mr. Crane. Declan, not my strong suit. Elise, I'm aware. She smiled at her phone, then continued walking. The dream was still there, getting closer, one step at a time. 3 months into their relationship, Elise was having lunch at her desk when an email popped up. From Declan Crane, subject. No subject attachment, lease agreement, PDF. She opened it, stared, read it 3 times. Then she was up, marching toward the elevator, ignoring Taylor's curious look. She didn't knock on Declan's office door, just walked in. He looked up from his laptop, eyebrows raised. Elise, what is this? She held up her phone, showing the email. A lease agreement. I can see that. For the space in Virginia Highland. Yes. In my name. Yes. Declan. She closed the door behind her. We talked about this. I can't afford. You're not paying for it. I am. Her jaw dropped. Excuse me? He stood up, came around the desk. Before you say no, hear me out. I'm going to say no. Elise, you can't just buy me a building. I'm not buying it, I'm leasing it. There's a difference. That's semantics. It's a gift. He moved closer. You have a dream. I have the means to help make it happen. Why is that a problem? Because it's too much. Because people will say I'm with you for your money, because you're scared, he said softly. That stopped her. I am scared, she admitted. It's huge, Declan. It's my entire dream handed to me on a silver platter. What if I fail? What if the bookstore doesn't work? What if it does? He cupped her face. What if you open the most amazing bookstore cafe Atlanta has ever seen? What if people fall in love with it the same way I fell in love with you? What if you succeed? Tears burned her eyes. Why are you doing this? Because you brought donuts to stressed co-workers. Because you laugh like sunshine sounds. Because you make me want to be the kind of man who believes in other people's dreams. He kissed her forehead. Let me help you, Elise. Not because you need me to, but because I want to. She was crying now. This is crazy. I know. People are going to talk. Let them. I love you. I love you too. He smiled. So is that a yes? She laughed through her tears. You're impossible. That's not a no. Yes. Okay. Yes. He kissed her. Proper and deep and full of promise. We're really doing this, she whispered. We're really doing this. 2 weeks later, Elise stood in front of the empty space on North Highland Avenue. The windows were dusty. The floors needed refinishing. The walls needed paint. Everything needed work. It was perfect. Tasha stood beside her, grinning. Girl, this is happening. This is happening. Elise repeated, stunned. What are you going to call it? Elise had been thinking about that. Something warm, welcoming, like chapter and cup. I love it. Yeah? Yeah. Declan arrived with coffee and blueprints he'd had an architect friend draw up. Not because Elise had asked, but because that's who he was now, the man who showed up with solutions before problems even formed. Okay, he said, spreading the blueprints on the dusty counter. So I was thinking cafe area here by the windows, natural light for morning coffee, bookshelves along this wall, cozy reading nook in that corner, maybe a small stage area for author readings and open mic nights. Elise stared at the drawings. You did this? I had help, but I wanted you to see what's possible. Declan, this is, her voice cracked, this is everything I imagined. Good, because we start renovations Monday. We. Yeah, we. He wrapped his arms around her waist from behind. I'm invested now, literally and figuratively. Tasha cleared her throat. I'm going to give you all a moment. I'll be outside pretending I'm not crying. After she left, Elise turned in Declan's arms. Thank you, she said quietly, for believing in me. Always. They spent the afternoon planning. Paint colors, warm terracottas and soft creams. Furniture, mismatched but intentional. The menu, simple but good, focusing on quality over quantity. I want local authors featured, Elise said. Atlanta writers, especially black authors. This needs to be a space that reflects the community. Absolutely. And a kids' corner, with diverse books, stories where black kids see themselves as heroes. I love that. And reasonable prices. This can't be some bougie spot that prices people out. Declan nodded. Your vision, your rules. I'm just the guy who signed the lease. You're more than that, yeah? Yeah, you're my partner. Something in his expression shifted, deepened. Partner, he repeated. I like that. That night at his place they celebrated with Chinese takeout and cheap wine. To chapter and cup, Declan said, raising his glass. To taking stupid risks, Elise added. They clinked glasses. My mama wants to help, Elise said. She's already planning the grand opening menu. Apparently she's making her famous peach cobbler. Your mama's a force of nature. She wants to know when you're proposing. Declan choked on his wine. What? I'm serious. She asked me last week, said, When's that man making it official? We've been together 3 months. Tell that to Gloria Brooks. He laughed, then went quiet. What? Elise asked. Nothing, just thinking. About how 3 months ago I was a man who ate alone and worked 80-hour weeks. And now I'm here, planning bookstore grand openings and being interrogated by your mother about marriage. Regrets? Not even a little bit. He pulled her closer. Best 3 months of my life. Mine too. They fell asleep on the couch, tangled together, dreaming of bookshelves and coffee beans and futures that felt suddenly impossibly real. Monday morning, Elise walked into the office with a different energy. She had a business to plan, a dream to build, a man who believed in her. Taylor noticed immediately. You're glowing. I'm opening a bookstore. What? Chapter and Cup, Virginia Highland, grand opening in 2 months. Oh my God. Elise. Jordan rolled over. Did you say bookstore? Bookstore cafe with reading events and local author features and a kids' corner. That's incredible. I know. She couldn't stop smiling. I know. She looked up and caught Declan watching from his office window. He raised his coffee cup in a subtle toast. She raised hers back. 3 months ago, she brought donuts to stressed co-workers. Now she was building something permanent, something hers, with someone who loved her enough to help make it real. 6 months later, Chapter and Cup was opening in exactly 4 hours, and everything was falling apart. The espresso machine isn't working, Tasha yelled from behind the counter. The AC is making a weird noise, Marcus called from the back. Half the cupcakes didn't arrive, Elise's mama said, phone pressed to her ear. Elise stood in the middle of her dream, surrounded by bookshelves she'd carefully curated, reading nooks she'd designed, walls painted in warm terracotta that took 3 tries to get right, and felt panic crawl up her throat. Okay, she said, trying to sound calm. Okay, we can fix this. Declan appeared at her elbow with coffee. Drink this first. I don't have time. 3 sips, doctor's orders. She drank. The caffeine hit her bloodstream like a blessing. Better? He asked. Marginally. What do you need? A miracle or a time machine? Either works. He smiled. How about solutions instead? Declan, the espresso machine is broken. The AC sounds like it's dying. We're missing half the pastries. The grand opening is in 4 hours. So we fix what we can and adapt to what we can't. That's very zen of you. I'm panicking internally, just hiding it better. Despite everything, she laughed. Okay, Declan said, switching into CEO mode. The espresso machine, is it completely dead? I don't know. Tasha said it's not heating. Let me look at it. The AC. Marcus is checking the unit now. And the pastries? The bakery had an oven malfunction. They can only deliver half the order. Declan pulled out his phone. I know a place. Give me 10 minutes. Declan, you don't have to. I want to. This is your day. Let me help. She squeezed his hand. Thank you. He kissed her forehead and disappeared to make calls. 2 hours later, the situation was better-ish. The espresso machine was working. Turned out it just needed to be reset, and Declan had somehow YouTubed his way to a solution. The AC was still making noise, but Marcus had determined it was probably fine and not actively dying. The pastry situation was resolved thanks to 3 different bakeries that Declan had called in favors with, which resulted in a chaotic mix of desserts that actually looked better than the original plan. See? Tasha said, arranging mismatched cupcakes and cookies on the display. It's eclectic, artisanal, on purpose. Sure, Elise said. Let's go with that. Taylor and Jordan arrived with flowers and a banner they'd made that said, Congratulations, Elise, in slightly crooked letters. We tried, Jordan said. Arts and crafts aren't our thing. It's perfect, Elise said, tearing up. Don't cry yet, Taylor said. Save it for when customers actually show up. They'll show up, Tasha said confidently. Elise hoped she was right. 1 hour before opening, everything was as ready as it was going to be. The books were shelved, the coffee bar was stocked. The reading nooks had cushions and blankets. The kids' corner had a rug and bean bags and diverse books that made Elise's heart swell every time she looked at it. It wasn't perfect. The AC was still humming weirdly. Some of the paint had smudges. One bookshelf was slightly crooked because Marcus had insisted he didn't need a level, but it was hers, real, imperfect, hers. Declan found her standing in the middle of it all, just staring. "You okay?" he asked. "I built this." "You did. I actually did this. You did." He wrapped his arms around her from behind. "And it's incredible. It's a mess. It's perfect. The AC is fine. The pastries are unique and charming. I'm sweating through this dress. You look beautiful." She turned in his arms. "Thank you for everything, for believing in this when I was too scared to. Thank you for letting me be part of it." She kissed him, soft and grateful. "Elise," Mama called. "People are lining up outside." Her heart jumped. "What?" She ran to the window. There was a line, an actual line of people waiting for the bookstore to open. "Oh my God." "Told you," Tasha said smugly. Elise looked at Declan. "I'm terrified." "I know. You've got this." "What if—" "You've got this," he repeated firmly. "Now go open your bookstore." She took a deep breath, walked to the door, unlocked it. "Welcome to Chapter and Cup," she said, voice shaking slightly. "Come on in." The first hour was chaos. Beautiful, overwhelming, perfect chaos. People everywhere. Browsing shelves, ordering coffee, claiming reading nooks. Kids in the children's section squealing over books. The register system crashed twice. The bathroom door got stuck. Someone spilled coffee on the floor, and Elise almost cried until 3 different customers jumped up to help clean it. "This is insane," she said to Tasha during a brief lull. "This is success, babe. Embrace it." A woman approached the counter. "Excuse me, are you the owner?" "Yes, is everything okay?" "More than okay. This place is exactly what the neighborhood needed. My daughter just found a book with a black princess. She's never seen that before. Thank you." Elise's eyes burned. "Thank you for coming." After the woman left, Elise had to take a minute in the storage room to compose herself. Declan found her there. Hey. She wiped her eyes. "Sorry, a mum just thanked me because her daughter found herself in a book." "That's what you built this for?" "Yeah," she laughed wetly. "Yeah, it is. You should come back out there. People are asking for you." "In a minute. Elise." She looked at him. He was nervous, actually nervous. Declan Crane, who negotiated billion-dollar deals without breaking a sweat, looked like he was about to fall apart. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Nothing's wrong. Everything's right. That's the problem." "I don't understand." He took her hands. "I had a plan, a whole plan. I was going to propose at closing time when it was quiet and perfect and you weren't covered in coffee and stress sweat." Her heart stopped. "What?" "But then I realized something." He squeezed her hands. "This is perfect. This chaos. This beautiful mess. This is us. And I don't want to wait for some manufactured moment. I want this one." "Declan!" He knelt down, right there in the storage room surrounded by boxes of books and extra coffee supplies, pulled out a small velvet box. "6 months ago, you brought donuts to a stressed office during an audit, and I thought you were just another employee, but you weren't. You were this force. This bright, beautiful force that reminded me what it felt like to be human." Tears were streaming down her face. "You showed me that success means nothing if you're alone, that money can't buy the kind of warmth you bring into a room just by existing. That love isn't something to be afraid of. It's something to build toward." His voice cracked. "You made me want to be better, to do better, to show up." "Declan, I know this is fast. I know people will say we're crazy, but I don't care." He opened the box. A simple gold band with a single diamond. Elegant, understated, perfect. "I want forever with you, Elise. I want Sunday dinners with your mama, and learning how to season food properly and helping you build 1,000 more dreams. I want to be your partner in everything, in the chaos and the perfect moments and everything in between. He looked up at her, hope and fear and love written across his face. "Marry me," he said. "Not because I'm well, I'm not your boss anymore. Not because I have money or because of anything except that I love you more than I knew was possible. Marry me because we fit, because you make me laugh, because I can't imagine a future without you in it, because you're covered in coffee and stress sweat and you've never looked more beautiful." She couldn't speak, couldn't breathe, could only nod. "Yes?" he asked, voice hopeful and terrified. "Yes," she managed. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." He stood up, slipped the ring on her finger and kissed her like they were the only two people in the world. The storage room door burst open. "Elise, the register is, oh my God." Tasha, followed by Mama, Marcus, Taylor, Jordan, and half the customers in the store. "Did you just—" Tasha squealed. "He did!" someone yelled. And then everyone was cheering, clapping, crying. Mama pushed through the crowd and pulled them both into a hug. "About time." Marcus shook Declan's hand. "Welcome to the family, officially." "Thanks," Declan said. "Does this mean I passed?" "You passed when you learned how to clean cast iron. This is just paperwork." Elise laughed through her tears, looking at the ring on her finger. Then at Declan, then at the crowd of people, friends, family, customers, all celebrating with them. "This is insane," she whispered. "This is perfect," he corrected. "The register is still broken. I'll fix it. The AC is still humming. Marcus will handle it. I'm getting engaged in a storage room. Best storage room proposal in Atlanta history." She kissed him again, not caring who was watching. By closing time, Chapter & Cup had sold 73 books, served over 200 coffees, and become the place Elise had always dreamed of, a space where people felt safe. The register had been fixed, twice. The AC kept humming but never died. The eclectic pastries were gone, and Elise was engaged. "That was the most chaotic, stressful, perfect day of my life," she said, collapsing into one of the reading chairs. Declan sat on the armrest beside her. "Same. You proposed in a storage room. I proposed in your storage room, in your bookstore, on your day. Seemed right." It was right. She looked at the ring. "It's beautiful. You're beautiful. I'm a mess. My favorite mess." She pulled him down for a kiss. "Hey," Mama called from the door. "Y'all coming to celebratory dinner or you gonna make out in the bookstore all night?" "Option B sounds good," Declan muttered. Elise laughed. "We're coming, Mama." As they walked out, Elise looked back at the bookstore one more time. 6 months ago, this was just a dream. Now it was real, and the man who'd helped make it possible was her fiancé. Life was chaotic, imperfect, and absolutely beautiful. 1 year later, Chapter & Cup's first anniversary party was loud, crowded, and perfect. The bookstore had become a community hub, author readings every Thursday, open mic nights on Fridays, a book club that Mama had somehow taken over, and turned into a social event that rivaled Sunday church. Elise and Declan had gotten married 3 months ago in a small ceremony at Piedmont Park. Mama cried. Marcus gave a speech about how he'd threatened Declan with bodily harm if he ever hurt his sister, but was glad he didn't have to follow through. Tasha caught the bouquet and immediately tried to give it to Taylor. They'd honeymooned in Greece, came home to Atlanta, to their life. Declan still ran Apex Financial, but he left at 5 now. Had dinner with his wife, helped close the bookstore. Lived. "You happy?" Declan asked, watching her chat with customers. Deliriously. "Good." She kissed him, quick and easy and familiar. "Love you." "Love you too." Outside, Atlanta hummed with its usual chaos. Inside, two people who'd found each other in the most unexpected way continued building a life worth living. One donut, one smile, one chaotic day at a time. Thank you so much for spending this time with Elise and Declan. If their story made you smile, laugh, or believe in love a little more, that's everything we hoped for. Did you love watching them go from donuts to forever? Hit that like button. It helps us create more stories like this. Subscribe and turn on notifications. We have more heartwarming romances coming your way. Comment below. What was your favorite moment? Was it the Sunday dinner, the storage room proposal, the potato salad debate? We want to hear from you. Remember, love shows up in the smallest gestures. Sometimes it's just a box of donuts. Sometimes it's someone who sees you when you feel invisible. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing in their love. See you in the next story.